Americans spend nearly $4 trillion a year on healthcare, and yet they are among the least healthy people in the world. Something is not right here, and what we need is a new outlook, a new view on health.
We have the wrong approach in America. We are looking to medicine to try to get us healthy. They know nothing about health, nothing.
Most medical doctors, I believe, are inherently good people with good intentions. But they cannot improve your health because they've been given the wrong information.
If you got a lobotomy, you'd be smarter than any of the doctors when it comes to health.
In fact, doctors receive on average only 2.5 hours of nutritional instruction in 6 years of medical school. It's time for a new approach to health from the world's most cutting-edge nutrition expert, ready to revolutionize the way you think about health. Scientist and author, Raymond Francis.
Health is not, we think of it as a right. You know, we need a right to health care. It isn't. Health is a responsibility, and we need to teach this to our children. We need to accept this responsibility for ourselves. And the good news is that if you do this, you will feel so good, and life will be so wonderful. Most people don't even know what it feels like to be healthy because they've never been healthy in their entire lifetime. Here we have this unprecedented epidemic of chronic and degenerative disease, the cancer, the heart disease, the diabetes, the osteoporosis, the Alzheimer's, all of asthma, all these horrible chronic diseases. All of these things can be stopped dead in their tracks with what we already know. Never Be Sick Again is a breakthrough, revolutionary book. There are doctors all over the world that are reading Never Be Sick Again and calling us and saying, I've practiced medicine for 30 years, I've read your book, I'm changing the way I practice medicine. I've constructed a model of health that is so simple that you can teach it to a child, and so powerful that you can cure almost anything. In fact, there are people that buy Never Be Sick Again with stage 4 terminal cancer, go home and cure that cancer. And this happens over and over and over again. Well, why can they do that? Because there is no such thing as cancer. You see, there's only one disease, and that's a malfunctioning cell. See, we're all made of little units of life called cells. And all of us started life as a single cell in our mother. If that cell was functioning the way it's supposed to, you were healthy. It's no different today. Now that we're made of multi-trillions of cells, tens of trillions of cells, if every cell in your body is functioning the way it's supposed to, you can't be sick. The only way you can be sick is when the large number of cells malfunction. And then you'll start to notice symptoms. Cells malfunction for only 2 reasons. Either they're not getting everything that they need to function properly, or they're getting something that is interfering with their normal function. Don't eat processed foods. Don't eat foods that come in boxes and cans and jars, and which is what most people do. 90 cents out of the American food dollar is spent on processed foods. Well, processed foods are low in nutrition and high in toxins. What are the 2 causes of disease? Malnutrition and toxicity. So that's what processed foods cause disease. In my book, I talk about the big 4. Sugar, white flour, processed oils, dairy, and excess animal protein. These are the causes of most of our diseases. If we were to do just one thing, outlaw sugar, we probably have an enormous impact on the health of the population.
Absolutely.
Reducing everything from colds and flu to cancer and diabetes and heart disease. Sugar is a deadly, deadly metabolic poison.
Look at how much sugar the average American eats. Now, this is actually about how much the average American eats. Now, I'm not eating any sugar, so someone's eating my average. Now, as I'm talking, I'm going to continue to give you how much sugar you get in a day. This is one day. One single grain like that is enough to weaken your immune system. That's enough to weaken your immune system. This is enough to put you at half your life expectancy.
Most people in our society, including myself, before I took ill and almost died, think of disease as something like a meteorite. Falls out of the sky, hits you over the head, and bam, you've got diabetes, you've got cancer, you've got something else. And I think that's the popular perception. It isn't that way, of course. Health is a choice. Where did we get the idea that if somebody was sick, we could help them by giving them poison?
Right.
I mean, here you have a system here where there's only two causes of disease: deficiency and toxicity. Well, prescription drugs cause deficiencies, and they're toxic.
Right.
So drugs cause disease, and the more drugs you take, the sicker you get.
One of the big maxims from Hippocrates, father of modern medicine, was let food be thy medicine, medicine thy food.
What is food? Food is what nature provides. An apple is, pick it off the tree and eat it. That's food. So eat as much as possible. Eat food as nature provides it. And as much as possible, eat a plant-based diet as nature provides it. And yeah, you can have some animal protein in your diet, but not a lot. Lots of vegetables, lots of fruits, some fresh whole grains, some good high-quality fish, some organic meats and organic eggs in moderation. That makes up a good diet.
Anytime I feel myself getting sick or anything, I just know it's imperative to go raw, and that's how I've raised my kids. They know as soon as they get sick, okay, you've been eating quite a lot of cooked or processed food. The number one thing to improve their diet, I would say, to increase the amount of raw organic food that you consume.
Supplementation today is an absolute necessity. Even if you eat a good diet, it is no longer possible to get the nutrition that you need without supplementing. And this is from the National Academy of Sciences, so it's not just me saying this,
Right.
but I found the same thing in my own studies. The nutrition content of the food has dropped dramatically. For instance, go to the store, buy a carrot. The carrot you buy today, you've got to eat four of them, to get the same magnesium you got in one carrot 50 years ago. You've got to eat between 10 and 20 carrots to get the same zinc you got in one carrot 50 years ago. You've got to eat 5 apples to get the same nutrition you got in one apple 50 years ago. So we need to supplement, but that's a whole other challenge, because most of the supplements on the market are not something that I would take or recommend. Almost all the vitamin C on the market is junk. But I'll give you a very specific example. Go to the store, pick up a multivitamin. The vitamin B12, and about 90%, more than 90% of all the supplements you pick up will be in the form called cyanocobalamin.
Right.
Cyanocobalamin has very poor bioavailability, but also it breaks down in the body and puts cyanide into the body. I use a source called hydroxycobalamin, which is the perfect solution. It is very pure, it works very well, it's highly bioavailable, the half-life is in hours, not in minutes. On my deathbed, where I really was at the point where I could not even move. I remember lying there, I wanted to move my head. So I told my head to move, and it didn't, and it wouldn't. That's how far gone I was. There, at age 48, I almost died. And I had 4 autoimmune diseases, by the way. I had lupus, I had Sjogren's syndrome, I had Hashimoto's thyroiditis, I had fibromyalgia. I had so many problems. I had chemical sensitivities. I was one of the most chemically sensitive people in the world. I had chronic fatigue syndrome. I suffered from seizures. I had so many problems. I'm now going on 72. I have boundless energy. I never get sick. My probability of having a heart attack or a stroke is that of someone in their late 20s. Anybody can do this. I think the final message is this, that no matter what you have, no matter what disease you have, you can make it better. The power is there. I mean, it's just so wonderful. And so I wish I could shout this from the rooftops. You don't have to be sick.